Violence in South Philadelphia that police believe starts on social media.
That's what made me. OT76 side, that's what raised me.
On not if you do that, house in the Glock, hit your back like some thumbtacks. When the found out where you lived there, thought you was a move cause the way your ass got wet. And I rode with the audience, we gave you props cause we spinning blocks, you had got clapped.
This your boy DB, so always be with DB Woody, CEO Top Dollar Boys. Check us out, YouTube, Twitter.
It's like it's trickery. This neighborhood's trickery because everybody in the comment section was like, bro, like it's not safe to be there, bro. Like people get shot here. But it'll deceive the naked eye. Somebody who's not from the neighborhood, somebody comes from out of state, you would be fooled to think that this neighborhood's nice. It's a quiet little neighborhood.
It's 15-year-old Rasul Benson, who was shot and killed right here at this gas station. They are looking at video, as you said, from the gas station.
In October of 2019, the owner of a gas station in South Philly stood in the parking lot where the night before 16 shots were fired toward a group of teens, hitting two 15-year-old boys, one of whom died. Rasul Benson was an aspiring rapper and unfortunately a 15-year-old victim to the streets. More specifically, he was victim to a conflict in South Philly that started before he was even born. Sul Fazo, or Sul as his friends called him, was the latest in a crazy year of violence in 2018, especially for kids under the age of 18. As grim as these numbers are, it was and still is the reality. From January 1st, 2018 until October 5th, 2018, when Rasul was killed, 89 children ages 17 and younger were shot in the city, according to the Philadelphia Police Department. That number represents a 39% jump since the same time in 2017. 18 of those 89 teenagers were killed. Rasul Benson was one of them. He was with another 15-year-old boy that night who was left wounded in the incident. The black and white nighttime video showed a car pulling up around 8 p.m. in front of the golf station on Passyunk Ave near 25th Street, and a person getting out, running, and immediately firing. Four or five kids were standing outside the convenience store / gas station when the shots rang out. One, Rasul Benson, or Sul Fazo, was taken by police to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead shortly afterward from a gunshot wound to the chest. An unidentified boy, also 15, who was shot in the right shoulder, ran to the nearby police district on 24th and Wolf Street, from which he was taken to Penn Presbyterian and left in stable condition. This killing that was caught on camera was one of those stories that made headlines.
Just released the identity of the 15-year-old. They say it's 15-year-old Rasul Benson, who was shot and killed right here at this gas station. They are looking at video, as you said, from the gas station. Now, we got to look at the video this morning. The owner of the gas station would not let us put it on TV, but did let me look at it, and I can tell you that what you see is a group of teenagers hanging out around this area. You see a car stop over here near the street. Somebody get out, start shooting at the teens, chasing one of them around the corner. So now what police are trying to find out is a motive. They say they do not have a motive yet, and this happened just after 8 o'clock last night when the gunman opened fire with a semi-automatic weapon at 25th and Passyunk. 16 shots later, two 15-year-olds lay injured. Both were rushed to Penn Presbyterian Hospital. Benson was pronounced dead shortly there. Police do not know who shot the teens or why. They're hoping the surviving victim, who's in critical condition but expected to survive, can help them understand what led up to the double shooting. Family of the victims held one another outside the hospital last night. Their loved ones are the 5th and 4th teen victims of violence in the city in a 24-hour stretch.
People heartbroken. Our city is in crisis. Like, something has to be done about this. People losing their kids every day. These is babies. He was only 15 years old. He ain't even start to live his life yet.
Homicide detectives are looking at that video. They're also trying to identify the vehicle that was used in last night's shooting.
The news media in Philadelphia at that time were pointing out the fact that murder victims were getting younger and younger. Numerous news stories and articles were written about this killing. To hear Smiley tell it, shooting people was something of a pastime for him and his friends in South Philly. Week after week, sometimes day after day, Smiley said him and his crew from 31st Street would fall into a familiar routine. They'd steal a car, hop in with guns that they all shared, and then go looking for young boys from 27th Street to shoot. Sometimes, he said, when they couldn't find people from 27th Street, they'd look for people who lived around the nearby Wilson Park apartments. The cycle of violence, sometimes chronicled on Instagram, and by the time investigators caught up with Smiley or Nasim Smith in 2019, he confessed to a staggering array of crimes, wrote Chris Palmer on June 25, 2023, in an article for the Philadelphia Inquirer. The defendants, Hanif Wilkins or Newski or Nunu, 22, and Yamin Mofield or Lil Sue, 21, were convicted of third-degree murder and related crimes back in June, largely due to the testimony of Smiley, who spoke in a quiet, disconnected tone from the witness stand and wore a surgical mask that covered nearly his entire face in shame. He said Newski and Lil Sue, who, like him, were associated with 31st Street, told him that they killed Rasul Benson because they were targeting people from 27th Street who were also at the station pumping gas that night. Aspects of Smith's statement were corroborated by cell phone records, prison phone calls, and ballistics evidence. Lawyers for Newski and Lil Sue sought to cast Smiley as a liar and an unreliable narrator. They repeatedly stressed to the jury that he was offered a plea deal with a prison sentence of just 5 to 20 years, far short of the maximum he could have faced for his extended crime spree. The Nasim Smith you saw here was a Commonwealth robot, said Wilkins' lawyer, Richard Giuliani. What he told you wasn't true. It simply wasn't true, he told the jury. Smiley often implicated himself, and his testimony did not come without risk. His statements were leaked online where he was called Master Splinter, and Smiley's lawyer said that he had been moved to a different prison due to safety concerns. In addition, when Smiley testified at trial back in June, agents had to bring him to and from the courthouse alone instead of on a bus carrying other prisoners to ensure that he wouldn't be attacked. His role in convicting Newski and Lil Sue were perhaps the last significant action in a sprawling, years-long investigation that sought to disrupt the conflict between 31st Street, 27th Street, and Wilson Park.
I told my mama, I'm sorry. I know I fucked up when I made you cry, but this corny hand I was dead. I couldn't seem to play it right, and went from cooking white to shooting guns, now facing life in their body, brought their life into the air and fighting life. I done seen the real niggas stand tall and the real niggas swell. I'm fighting life, I'm on a mission, just waiting for my appeal. I know a nigga could've went to college but took a deal. He was playing in that field till that shit got real. Just got a letter from my homie and she said she missed me. And they said I beat the case the odds stacked against me. I told my folks if I get well, please don't forget me. Cause they be hearing different when they don't want to listen. They won't press fire when you call, your comments ain't insufficient. Rest in peace of Deke Loco, I was trying to fuck his sister. Niggas rather post on Instagram instead of sending pictures. Rest in peace of Deke Loco, I was trying to fuck his sister. Free the mob.
Part. This case is just a reminder to all people still unconvinced or who are caught up in it that the streets are a lie. There is hardly ever a good ending to these tales. Lil Sue and Newski's convictions were part of a 200-page indictment filed in 2021, the result of a 4-year-long investigation, according to District Attorney Larry Krasner. Local law enforcement from 4 different agencies banded together with agents from the state attorney general's office to focus on an intergenerational conflict between 2 warring factions of young men from neighborhoods just 4 blocks apart. Tasker Street versus 27th Street is a sad tale of kids from the same neighborhood, often former friends, who also often went to school together, killing each other over spilled blood and hurt feelings. Traumatized is the way to describe how the community was left when all the smoke cleared. Nearly 20 people have now been convicted for their roles in the gunfire during the last 8 years in South Philly. Only 2 cases remain pending, both of which are expected to result in guilty pleas in the coming weeks.
They sent Lil Sue back to the youth, I ain't saying too much, but niggas was snitching. I know it right in the camp, cause bro allergic to him and niggas was itching. Gundy down, the nigga was twitching. Lil bro always been by. Just call my dog up and tell him sick the nigga. Lil bro jump out that back seat, he tryna blick the nigga. We ain't keeping score, but I just know for sure it's not a tie. I play my own part, I put my bitch in Chrome Heart. They call us the big ops, that just mean we known targets.
So, yeah. Wish she could get another turn. I need a caption, bro. Hell, no boy. And that what you just said, that's making a video too. He got that shit, bro.
Take they spin that corner if he fall, you better do him, Brody Binky. Hit that nigga off that bike, we had him out there, Harlem shaking.
That nigga off that bike, we had him out there, Harlem shaking.
Capping in they raps, these niggas know they gotta pay us. They ain't really pushing work, these better get they weight up. Brody hit that nigga back, I told him that I got his face up. If he told me, lil' bro, chill out, get this money, Brody, stay up. They be capping like they wouldn't, man, you know them niggas.
Yes, I'm unearned.
That's fine. Come on.
I'm recording, I'm unearned.
Alright, come on down. Come on down.
Can I put my shirt on or something?
Nah, you're good. We'll get you a shirt. Put your phone down. Come down. Come down.
I'm unearned. I'm unearned.
Come down. We see that.
Put it down.
I'm going to do a whole documentary concerning this beef from start to finish now that the last convictions from the indictment have been handed out. South Philly is a rough place to grow up on certain streets, and the history of these neighborhoods is filled with stories of lives lost or changed forever on the streets. Until then, be safe, and thanks for watching American Confidential.